everybody. This is your host. My name is Professor R. Yeah, I know. I went from double R to Professor R. Now, today this is called The Man's Guide to Success. Alright, let's check it out. Stay tuned. Alright, I'm here. So, the main thing I'm talking about, Man's Guide to Success. The main thing we can focus on is financing and investing. Now, how do we do this? What can a man do to reinvest his money? There are a couple of ways you can do to save your money. The main major thing is investing. What do you invest in? How do you get to investment? Okay, for example, there's a lot of things when you invest in a stock. A stock is very important because it depends on what stock you invest in. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to save your money. Number one thing in investing is to remember how to invest in the stock. Well, you can start off by S&P 500. S&P 500 is a great way to invest your stock because that's something that stock can go up or it can go down. Now, if you invest in a stock like Coca-Cola, that's $20 you can put into the stock. $20. Now, that's something you should start investing in. $20 inside of a stock. Now, most of us don't know about investing. Well, here's one thing you can do. Maybe you can look long term. They're called shared value investing, which Warren Buffett did. Warren Buffett was a share value investing. He invested in that with different shares in the stock. The value of that stock is how you share your money. Some men can invest in that. The S&P is another one. S&P, like Vanguard Information or Vanguard Information Technology. You can invest in that too. That's another S&P 500 company you can invest in. The stock can go up. Invest long term. Think long term when investing. Always think long term. That's what Warren Buffett would advise. He's a billion-dollar investor. Now, when you do, think about ways that you can save money. That's one way. Another way that I think will be important for investing is how to manage. Best way to manage, go on your savings account. Manage your savings account by checking it every single week. I say a week. For men that don't have a lot of money, take that money that you have, $5, $10, $15, start there. $5, $10, $15. Put it in your bank account. Do it every week because the more you do it, you'll maybe get to $1 million. That's a secret. Another thing, the way that a man can have better finances, take the coins you have and buy a piggy bank. Take those extra coins that you don't use in the household and buy a piggy bank. They put the coins inside a piggy bank every week. That way you'll have leftover change. Take that leftover change and put it inside the piggy bank. Reason why I say this, guys, because putting change in the piggy bank is one way to save money. I've done it like 5 or 10 years ago. I would take the change, put it in piggy bank. You save money in case for an emergency. It's called an emergency fund. Emergency bank account. Just in case you may have $0 in your bank account, but you'll have leftover change in your piggy bank. That's change you can use on the side in case a rainy day you may have $200 to $300 saved up in this piggy bank. Buy 2 or 3 of them because all the change that you have, instead of buying extra things you don't need, you can put it in a piggy bank. That's another way. Another way I think is great in saving money is not just buying stocks, but research. Research what is out there. Social research. Do your research. Researching banks. Banks are billion-dollar companies. You can maybe invest in something in the stock in banks. Banks are good to invest in because if you think about it, it's a $30 billion companies. Banks are worth a lot of money. Some men, you can take what you have and then make a small investment into a bank. The more you do that, look at it, research that. Research which banks are going up right now in the stock market. You have to do this because this is for the future, for you, your future. Listen to Professor R. Your future depends on it. Another smart investment that you can do that I've always done. For me, I've always learned how to get in what's called receipt jar. Receipt jar, take your receipt, snap a picture, and then after your jar is filled up, then you can download the app called Receipt Jar. The Receipt Jar is a great way to save money and on your receipt. You make money off it and then you can cash it in. Once you take a picture, then you take a receipt, you put it in there and it loads up, and then you cash it in. It's like a check form, but it's called Receipt Jar. You should check it out. It's a great investment. Okay, guys, man, another way that you can do, I've always learned, is that the best way to save money is this. I've always learned that you got to check out how your money is being spent. Learn to have a budget plan. Budget. I've done this for years. That's why I've always had money in my bank account, because budgeting helps you figure out where you are as far as your finances. Write down the things you spend your money on. Then the things you don't spend your money on. Find out how much you spend the things you do spend your money on. Separate it to the do's and the don'ts of spending. That way you'll save enough money to generate over a period of time how much you spend or how much you save. That's what helps with me with saving money. Another thing, invest in getting books about money. Get books about money, because what happens is let me read something from one of these books. Okay, this one right here in particular, Good Money. Planning for a long term is crucial. Complex, it often means making trade-offs and investment for uncertain returns. What that means is you're going to sacrifice whatever you're trying to buy. Try not to buy nothing for maybe a month. The things you don't need, try not to spend extra on things you don't need. Because what will happen is you'll start learning to save your money in the right way when it's like a trade-off. You're trading off the things, you're making a small investment into things you normally buy to things you don't need. Sell some of those things that you don't need. Another thing, whatever you have in accessories in your house, sell the things that you have too much of, like shoes, clothes, jewelry. Sell some of the things to make an extra income. That's your extra income. So you sell those things because those are the things like jewelry and things you normally buy when you go to the mall. Take those things that you're buying, instead of buying coffee every 2 or 3 days, save that little change so that way you can stack that in your savings account. Trust me, this is smart investing for budgeting. Another thing, guys, reinvest yourself. What I mean is reinvest in you. Find out what it is that you like to do and do it for passion. Get online and find out what is in social media. A lot of the time, we don't know what is in social media. So guess what? You got to go out there and see what social media is doing as far as reinvesting, which means get some cards, brand yourself. Go out there, get some cards, get some flyers, and brand whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever you're good at or whatever you're passionate about, brand yourself. Make sure you brand yourself. Whatever you're good at activity or whatever you're into, reinvest in that. Put some money into that. If you want to do a podcast, reinvest in that. There was a young lady last night that I saw. She was a podcaster, but she put $350 into the podcast and into the microphone, which means she did smart investing because she flew out the people that would come that she wanted on the show, and she invested in that, which was smart investing because she invested in that and she wanted to grow. That was something she wanted to do in the next 5-10 years. And remember, figure out what you want to do in the next 5-10 years. Paying to dream. What I mean is your savings account, right? Weekly, you want to see what you're paying for to get that dream off the ground. If you have an idea, pay for that idea. Make sure the idea you're doing, that you taking the time, finding out how you're going to start off with a plan. Find out what a business plan is. Find out what that business plan entails. Look at your business plan. See what steps it takes to make that happen. That way, when you create that profile for that, make sure you create a profile where people can invest in and go to. The more you have online, the easier it is. Online is good because a lot of people need to see that product that you have. Believe in that type of product because the product you have, a lot of people are going to want to invest in that. So invest in whatever your passion and your product is when it comes to that. All right, guys, let me tell you, this has been a great episode, and I appreciate you subscribing to this video. If you want more information and details, please subscribe to these videos that I'm going to start posting on YouTube and Facebook. Until then, this is Professor R on A Man's Guide to Success. I'll see you next time in the next video. Stay tuned.